Thanks for clicking on the video. My name's Tom Alsop, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm in my studio and I'm going to check out some video footage of me working with a video analysis client, helping him to improve his forehand. You're going to see the before and after. He's making great progress in such a short space of time. But I'm going to show you how we were able to make that progress, because I think a lot of people watching this will have similar issues, and I think this video can help you to improve your forehand. Enjoy. So the first video he sent me showed him hitting forehands with a lot of wrist, creating the lag. Now he's not happy with his forehand. He doesn't control it as well as he could. And you can see how this wrist could cause him to really lose control of the racket head and ultimately the ball. Not only is it very loose, but the strings also open up in this lag position. So very difficult to hit a consistent forehand when the strings open up like this. Another thing that happens is because he's so wristy and so loose here, as he swings it into the ball, he's not going to trust that everything's going to go okay when that racket meets the ball. So he tightens up. So basically he's super loose here, but tight coming into contact. So the shoulder locks and the wrist locks. He's basically swinging with the handbrake on. So it doesn't really make much sense to be super loose and then tight on the swing. So we wanted to get out of that and almost reverse it. Not that we're tight back here, but as we come into the shot, feel like you can relax coming through contact instead of all of your looseness being back here and then tight as you hit the tennis ball. So my first advice was for him to get a bigger take back. Now, often that's a little bit scary for some people, but I recommend this for a lot of players who have funky stuff going on back there. See if you can take it back pretty much as far as you can and just feel like you're letting it swing. Almost like a pendulum swing. Just let it swing. So you're not maneuvering it. You're not manipulating the racket head. You're just letting it swing. So I wanted him to get this feeling of a bigger swing and to take the wrist out of the shot as much as possible. Let's. I think he did a great job of getting that racket back, letting it swing, and getting rid of some of that lag that we certainly don't need. However, coming into contact, he still looked to be holding on to the shot a little bit. They looked to be tensioning the arm, and that wrist is still kind of laid back. So we want to feel like we're rotating the forearm and rotating the wrist, almost like you're turning a doorknob from right to left. You're just rotating everything. Now, if you can be relaxed while you do that, you're going to release the racket head. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video featuring Alcaraz saying that I didn't really like how he got into this position. There's a lot of wrist on some of his forehands. Now, when we relax our wrist and we rotate the forearm, we can do this with a neutral wrist. So I can relax everything here, just rotate the racket head, and there's no wrist getting into these funky positions. The wrist just stays neutral, just rotate it. But what my client here was doing is keeping the wrist back. All right, so Alcaraz is kind of throwing it out like this. My client's keeping it back. We want to just release so that the wrist is neutral and the racket head can move freely. Just so we're clear, there's nothing wrong with being more rigid and firm with your arm, with your wrist, and ultimately with the racket head if the situation calls for it. If someone hits a big serve at you, you can firm things up here to help you to control the racket head, especially if you're going to get some off-center hits. But in this situation, he's on the ball machine, so I just want to see him trust that he's going to time the ball and let things go a little bit more. Now, there were a couple of shots in this video where it looked like he was doing that. He was relaxing and releasing things a little bit better. So what I do as a coach, whether it's on court or online is highlight the things that people are doing well and say, hey, let's have a little bit more of that. So that's what I did here. So in his latest video, you can see he's made a lot of progress. He's actually short on the take back a little bit, but the whole shot is far more coordinated. Looks like he's developing that efficient, effortless racket speed that's going to be far more reliable than his old swing. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, you can sign up to my video analysis at tpatennis.com.